comes to the most.
Okay.
$222,000 on the world.
Okay.
40
Okay.
13,000
Wait, how much?
Whoops. Did not mean to start the stream. Whoops. Let me get rid of it.
2,900, 8,000 in credit cards. And I have about $24,000 in savings. That's including.
There we go. And I already accidentally started the stream a little early. Alrighty, so since I started it early, you guys get to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. Let's see. Properties. The camera never stays at the webcam never stays at the right settings, so I have to change it and then adjust it. Normally all this is done. Before, but yeah, so I created the stream. I meant to just create the stream and not start streaming, but I accidentally hit create and start streaming, so I did it wrong. So I do it wrong sometimes myself too. What up, Aslan? Anybody else's chat disconnecting and reconnecting? Or is it just me? Did that in the Ramsey show as well. What? All right, well, wait like 30 more seconds, see if anybody else is coming, and then we'll get started. Okay, Aslan said no issues with hers. Okay, I mean, everything seems fine. Stream's not lagging or anything like that, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know. If it's not, if you guys aren't having that same problem, it's not a YouTube issue. Alrighty. All right, live from Cabot, Arkansas. It's the Ramsey Show After Show number. What is it today? 392. How about that? You are on, as you well know, youtube.com/coachstevemoney. And for other financial content, to scroll down to get to the Answering to Your Financial Questions playlist. That's the weekend stream. That's normally going to be 8:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday night. And the Ramsey Show After Show. This show. And that's going to be through the rest of September, at least Tuesdays and Thursdays, approximately 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's when the Ramsey Show video ends on YouTube and the last hour goes to the app. Also, the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Do check those out if you are so inclined. What up, Anon? Market report. Let's make sure. Yeah, reloaded it. All right. And so we do have the right numbers. Russell small cap index leading today with 1.22% up, but the market all up today. NASDAQ up 1, and S&P 500 index only, people. Keep a look. Why I would take a look at this every day and see how much the NASDAQ is over the S&P 500, because even if you are just an index person, if you're just doing S&P 500 and you don't have any in NASDAQ, you're leaving money on the table, and you don't want to do that really. But so good day today, and it's because inflation is simmering down now apparently. And yesterday I think it went down because, or the market was mostly down because of, or was it? I'm thinking 2 days ago maybe, because they think maybe it won't be, the rate cut won't be as much as they want it to be, which shocker on that one. Check the rest of the planet. We have everything up in Europe, mostly up in Asia, and the currencies, just an excuse to do accents. Euro is up against the US dollar. Japanese yen up against the US dollar. The British pound, low, up against the US dollar. But the US dollar up against the Canadian dollar, eh? You hoser. And the Australian dollar-mate is up against the US dollar. See what we got for futures. Looking good for tomorrow as well. Alrighty, let's see what else we want to check. The most followed single stocks on the Google. Apple barely up 0.05%. The Alphabet, which owns Google, said 2.34%. Also up over 2% today was Meta. But all of them up. So cool. I think that's all. That's all we need from there. Oh, anybody? I didn't see any earnings calendar. Got Adobe reporting. Oh, today. They reported today. Let's see what they did. It's down in the after hours trading. Is down 10%. So I'm going to guess not so good. Let's see. Reports record revenue in quarter 3 fiscal 2024. So, and it slips on soft fourth quarter. Oh, okay. So even though it's record revenue for quarter 3, I guess they said, well, we probably won't make that much next quarter. And just by saying that, then guess what? You're down 10%. So you got to be careful what you say. Traders will be overreacting. What up, Simply? Yeah, chat's still disconnecting and reconnecting. Weird. But it does keep reconnecting. Told me you got one, but really didn't. I was just fronting. I was capping. I was just messing with you. Because you should know, my word is my bond. When I said that's not going to happen, that's what the truth was. Did it. Oh, I already did the market report. Okay, and so now we're doing, let's do some news stories. Not really a news story, but today is a happy National Video Game Day, everybody. Feel free to spend a little more quality time with your controller while reclining in your favorite gaming chair this week. The popularity of video games continues to grow across the United States, and that's the only country that matters, really, right? Just kidding, Anon. Just kidding. They have video games in the UK. In the bloody UK, you can play some Call of Duty. Let's see what else we have for. Let's see. CNBC's Make It. This college has the highest paid graduates. It's not Harvard, Princeton, or any Ivy League school. Any guesses in the chat? Any guesses in the chat? We're all sinners, Anon. We are all flawed. Let's see if there's any guesses in the chat. And don't look it up either. Don't cheat. The college that's the highest paid. I did skim this article before. And you do have to skim it for quite a bit before it tells you the answer. But I do know the answer. So the college that has the highest paid graduates. Any guesses? And I'll continue while we wait for guesses on that. And I'll come back to it if I remember. What was this one? Oh, mortgage rates fall to lowest level since February 2023. So that's good. Let's see what it is. Standard 30-year, which we don't recommend. Expanding it to 30 years so you have more leeway with the payment. Makes you think you can afford the house when you can't afford the house. 6.2%. For a 30-year mortgage. See what else we got going. OpenAI releases O1. Now, is that a lowercase o, letter O, I guess? O1, oh, for the OpenAI, I guess. O1 is first model with reasoning abilities. The rumored strawberry model is here. And, you know, maybe you should just call it Skynet. right? And company says it can handle more complex queries for a steep price. Of course, not going to be free. You'll have to pay for it first, and then it'll become sentient and destroy us all after that. What else? U.S. bans Navient from servicing federal student loans. They've had some issues. At best, bad customer service. At worst, well, you can go from there. All right. So college that has the highest paid graduates. It's not Harvard, Princeton, or any Ivy League school. Let's see. And simply guessed every school in the world already. No, it is MIT, which is not Ivy League, apparently. So yeah, MIT. Cool. All righty. And so yeah, I screwed the pooch today by starting the stream early, and that made it so that I didn't find my spot on the list. So just gotta scroll down till we get to questions that we haven't done yet. And I don't start at the top because I need to do all of them because I do too many streams to not use all of them because I will run out. Pursed a job that makes less. 18 UK. Now that looks familiar. Work for one contribution. Baby step 2. None of these seem familiar. Do these seem familiar, guys? Oh, yeah, that one we did. Yeah, I think we did that one. And that one. Well, you get a job first immediately, and then maybe you can keep the house without selling it. So that's the short answer on that one. But I think we did that one. Did we do this one? Let's see. Jay, the username doesn't look familiar, so I don't think we did that. You win my respect. What was that from? What was that from? Oh, I think that was Jurassic Park, because they were saying Lex and Tim were having some kind of. It might have been when they were when Lex said, let's see who can get over the fastest. And Dr. Grant said, come on, kids, it's not a race. And Tim said, well, I win. And Lex said, respect. For work 401k contribution baby step 2, and that's a no. That's a no. Steps 1 through 3, you are pausing contributions to retirement while you are getting your life together and getting out of debt and getting your full emergency fund. We're currently in baby step 2. While in this step, till all consumer debt has been paid, do you still match your 401k contribution through your employer, or does that cease to help cash flow the debt until you're out of baby step 2 and on to baby step 4? Now that it says cease to help cash flow it, I think I did read this one as well. And that's an ad. Planning budget for the month, and realize my car is paid for. Did that one too. Paid at 2 months. It depends on the loan. Depends on the loan as far as whether you can just not pay for 2 months. Even though it is ahead, they may still penalize you for not doing that. We did the book question. Do you place a 401k loan in your debt and pay it off in order like you would other debt? Yes, you do. But it may have to be taken out of your check to repay it. But you can see if you can just pay it back to them some way in cash. Sarah here now. Let's see. Always arrange stuff but picks expensive things. I think we did that as well. We usually spend 70 bloody quid on brunch and split it. I don't know the exact exchange rate, Anon, but 70 quid on brunch seems excessive. How many people is this? Just her and the friend? So yeah, you gotta say we're not doing this expensive stuff anymore. And if your friend suddenly doesn't want to hang out with you anymore, guess what? That person was never your friend. Napa SZ, we're keeping it in the bloody UK. 18 in the bloody UK, so to start investing in my workplace pension. Since I'm under 22, my employer is legally required, probably not retired, to match 3 to 5% of my salary I put in. Should I still invest in it or something different? I would say if this is your big boy job, if this is not some teenager job and is not going to be your big boy job, if you're still living with parents, maybe chill on doing that and just save up some cash, and that way you can afford to move out, etc., or buy a car or anything else you need to do with the money first. The kids always want to start investing too soon. The problem with that is if you need the money for a car or to move out or for in the US anyway to pay for college. That's why teens and young adults are advised to just stack cash for that kind of thing until you graduate college debt free and then get your big boy or big girl job. Let me catch up with the chats. Simply going to send me one. You could email me a picture of one, sure. coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Money plants. Boom. Dad used to pour his tea in his when my mom's back was turned. I don't know what that was. I don't know. I missed something. A9 cleans like a nutter. Phrasing. Boom, boom, boom. Simply not following y'all. I'm not either. 70 on brunch is a lot. That's a lot of bloody quid. And yep, Simply is the plant lady now. You brought it on yourself. Simply. Super COD 4336. Have you ever probably supposed to be pursued a job that makes a lot less? Hey, hi guys. I just wanted someone's opinion on this. I'm currently finishing up AIT in the Army to be a 68X. I don't know what any of that means. Oh, behavior health specialist. Okay, great. Fabulous. So far, I love it. And the Army. Great. I love the diversity, challenges, and opportunity to grow every day. I'm making a lot less than I used to when I was a senior data analyst. Yeah, but my mental health has never been better. Well, that's great. Recently, I was thinking a bit ahead about what I wanted to do post-Army, assuming I get out, right? If you like it that much, it may be your career. And a field that caught my eye was speech therapy, behavior health specialist, and then want to go into, you may be trying to do too many things, but definitely when you're young, that's the best time to try all this stuff. But I mean, that would be another thing that you would have to do, and I don't know that you could learn that. If you can learn that through the Army, that would be the best thing. But otherwise, you will have to get that training afterwards. Excuse me. Already went to a few virtual open houses, talked in SLP on base. Oh, okay, great. And the field seems interesting and something I can do long term out here in the field. We fight for our meals. The only concern I have is earning potential. The GI Bill will pay for anything, and I'm using TA to get my master's, right? And so in behavior health, I mean, this could be a younger person, and younger people do tend to spin out on stuff like this and say, I want to do this and this and this and this and this. That, that's great. And it's good to try out a lot of stuff when you're young. because that's much more difficult later. But you also, by not having any debt, and the higher you are on the baby steps list, or lower because it's 1 through 7, so the higher number you are, that will make it easier to to work a job that makes less money than another job that you may not like as much. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. All right. Ain't not taking bets on the United States presidency. Miss T Bikini at Worky. Her name is Tanya. Good to meet you, Tanya. Assuming that's your right name. Shark on Game. Should I sell $100,000 in stock to add my down payment when buying house? The Ramsey advice is to sell single stocks regardless. So you would use them to pay off debt. If you have any non-mortgage debt, you would do that. Trying to decide on a couple of approaches to buying a home. I'm going to have about $300,000 profit after the sale of my current home after fees, taxes. I have a HELOC with about 63 on it and about 23 worth of credit card debt. Now, so is the 300 after you take that out already, or is it going to be 214K after you pay those off from selling the house? House sale, an upcoming bonus from work will pay off that debt. Great, and leave me debt free, house free, and with about 200K cash profit from the house sale. You should read, Steve, before you answer the question. I have no other debt. Great, 43 right now. Could change any second. My current net worth is about $700,000. And that's pretty good once you get rid of that debt. Supposedly that's all the debt and that'll be cleared. So then it'll go up by the amount of the debt and get closer to $1 million. About 350K of that is 401K, 150K in personal stock, and the last 200K is equity in a house. Putting about 24K into 401K per year right now, and that includes my employer match. I have personal that you should be investing 15%, regardless of whether that will take you past the maximum, because you can always open a Roth IRA and invest. What is it? 6,500 now, I think. It went up January 1st. I can't remember how much it is, but like another 6,500 per year. And that would be preferable anyway. That's in the order. It's match first, and then a Roth account, and then going back to max out the 401k. So yeah. So again, what I would think at this point here, and I love to be the Debbie Downer on all this, and say, so you're going to have about 300K profit after the sale of the house. How much house you think you need to buy? So if it's a over $300, because if 300K is profit, well, I don't know that there was a mortgage on it. There was a HELOC on it for sure, but I don't know that there was still a mortgage on it. But say from a 300, what are you going to try to do? Get a 500 or 700,000 house? I would not do that, especially if you're 43. You don't have any kids. You know, how many people are going to be living there? And so you don't need eight bedrooms. You do not need that, sir. So I don't know if that's, that's what I would mention that as a concern if this person was my client. But yeah, you would sell the 100 in stock regardless of whether you were buying a house. But you can certainly do that and put that as a down payment. Or check this out. You just buy the house in cash with what you have on hand and don't overbuy a house that you do not need. Alrighty, traditional act 3790. Simply wants to be able to afford gas and groceries again. You can't afford them now? How are you getting to places and eating if you can't afford it now, simply? Tanya says 7K on the thing, right? Yes, absolutely. Avoid the mortgage if you can. There's no need to simply, because they will give you a mortgage, but you have $400,000 or $500,000 worth of cash. Why can't you get just that amount of house? Why do you have to get more than that? Oh, electric bill here. Hey, hi guys. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment that is approximately 1,200 square feet. We utilize just energy for electric, and our electric bills in the Texas summer are between 200 to 230. Our AC doesn't go below 72 degrees. Any tricks to get our bill lower? Yeah, kick it up to 76. How about that? 76. Or you can get old and have diabetes and bad circulation, and then you can keep yours at like 82 or 83 like I do. You could do that, and that saves a lot on electricity. So also, if you don't need that many square feet, you can also move to go down in that, but I don't know if that will save you enough. Texas is going to be warm in the summer. That's how Texas works. You have to accept the reality of that. Let's see. What percentage of his wealth should be the house? There's not one of that. There's no guidelines on that. As far as that is, the amount of the house is the majority of most people's net worth. So there is no guideline on that. There's just a guideline on how much mortgage you should take out on a house, which is 25% of take-home pay should be the mortgage payment. Generally, approximately 2.5 times your annual salary is the amount of mortgage, not the amount of house, but the amount of mortgage that you can take out. So, but it's just in general, people do tend to overbuy things, especially houses and stuff, and they don't need it. Like I said, at 43, he doesn't have small kids running around, and he's probably not having more babies, so he doesn't need more bedrooms and so forth. And so, I would wonder why even sell that house that he's in now. So why do it? Just because you got some money laying around? So it would, it would have to be a really good reason. Not just tired of it. Want a bigger one. Imgaraz, just finished paying off my line of credit. Let's go. We stay going, Imgaraz. So we don't need to do a let's go, which at some point in life recently, let's go turned into hooray for me or hooray for us. And that's not what let's go means. Let's go means let's go and get it done, but you've already got it done in this case. So I don't know why that's been appropriated for the wrong meaning. Been an off and on listener to Dave for years. I was finally sick and tired of being sick and tired. Last year began evening classes to change careers while working full time at the start of the year. I had over 20K debt between credit cards and taxes in 2024. I managed to going to be a lot of stuff here, but has a period instead of comma. Finishing my schooling with 3.7 GPA, should be a comma there. land a higher paying job in a new field this month. Out here in the field, we fight for our meals. And 5 minutes ago, I just made my last payment on my line of credit, clearing up all 20K of what I owed. Excellent. So hype right now. The last year of my life has been exhausting, but so worth it. Going Gazelle Intense gave me a level of focus, determination, discipline, responsibility, and energy that I never knew was possible. Excellent. Hope this encouraged someone else out there to keep going. Excellent. Excellente. Let's see. Move my face to the top of the screen, please. Need to read the emails to follow. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I'll just put them. I'll just make them higher. Yeah, yeah. So that's been a problem because since I moved it over to my 50-inch TV as opposed to the 46-inch TV, it displays it differently, and so like the Piglet one now, the would love some opinions right there. You should be able to read it, I think, but I probably had some down here before, so apologies for that. I'll try to remember. Boom, boom, boom. Actually, I could move it up to the top because the top you don't need to see for anything, any reason. So I'll think about that. Tanya's on board too. I guess I've been outvoted. Designer Stubble. Just lazy. What is it? Always just said, me being a heater is a good reason to get closer in cold weather. Yep. Get a little bit closer now. Something like that. There's a song. 4 inches makes no difference. Phrasing. Piglet. So yeah. So simply, can you see it? See it now? Fine. Would love some opinions. 33-year-old, recently divorced, no kids, no car notes, no loans, no debts of any kind, renting $500 monthly, $133,000 in high yield savings account, but no retirement. What to do? Hey, guess what you do, dog? You can put whatever you don't need for your emergency fund out of that 133K. You could max out a Roth IRA for the year. Definitely. Otherwise, if you have a job that offers 401k, or better yet, a Roth 401k, you start investing now, and you should be investing 15% of your gross income. Although, if you're not planning on buying a house, that would make you in step 7 if you don't have any debts and you have the full emergency fund and you're investing. That puts you're in step 7. Congratulations. And so you can invest more than the 15% even. So yeah, it's time to get started. You still got plenty of time. 33, still a baby really, compared to some of us. But you still have 30 years in the market still. So that can still be multiple millions depending on how much you're investing. Didn't say how much income is there. High yield savings account acting as a retirement fund, right? And that's not going to get you enough growth. You're losing out on growth by just doing the high yield savings account. I'm currently in school. Pause school to get a second job is the title of it. Let's see, who is that? Adventurous Buyer. I'm currently in school to receive an associate's degree for free. Is that what that is? AS? Associate's degree? Is that what that is? For free, but I have consumer debt I need to pay off. Would it be wise to pause school to focus on paying off my debt? That would be a cleaner life if you did school after you were out of debt. But yeah, I don't know what the AS degree actually means. Maybe that could be an actual field of study and not just the type of degree. But yeah, especially the younger you are, where you have time on your side still, I would probably pay off debt first. And hopefully it's not that much debt and it won't take that long. So, but again, that depends on you. I mean, you can cash flow the school, and that's going to make you take longer to pay off your debt. But trying to do two things like that could end up making you getting to the end of both of them slower. And so that's the only thing to consider in there. So is dental and vision worth it? Wiki 1978. I'm looking at employee benefits and I work for the government. Government do take a bite, don't she? And dental is about $25 a month for my spouse and I. And vision would be about $6 a month. It seems really low for good coverage. Yeah, generally those are the employers for vision and dental are pretty good. Although you may be paying that amount and maybe never need vision, or very, very rarely the dental, you should at least be going in for checkups. But I mean, that is not that much. And so I don't know that you could do better than that, buying that yourself on the open market. And what would Dave do? Flare right there. And he would definitely have those insurances in place. That's part of baby step 0, forthcoming video. Anon's only 21 in your head. Right. Yeah, I feel a lot younger too, except for the bad circulation part. So was the maximum benefit of these? Yeah, I'm not clicking on that to figure out what that is. But yeah, the maximum benefit would be good to look at as well. And so if it's not that much, like if it's only a couple $100 or something like that, that would be the maximum benefit, then you wouldn't do that. You would just cash flow that. Or put it in a health savings account. Pay off car. If I have extra money, should I pay off car with 3.99% interest? If you have extra money, you apply that to whatever baby step you're on. And if you have a car to pay off, that means congratulations. You are at worst, at best in baby step 2. And at worst, you haven't even done baby step 1 yet. So you do the baby steps. Imagine that. You do the baby steps and let's say, or keep money in money market to earn more interest. We don't debt leverage by keeping a loan around to put money in a money market account where the interest is not going to, you may make a couple cents in the interest. Not enough to worry about that. Get out of debt. Do the thoughts and suggestions. It's the Dave Ramsey subreddit, sir or madam. You might want to take a glance at the baby steps. Hey, look. Step 1, save $1,000, start emergency fund. Step 2, pay off all debt except the house using the debt snowball. And it doesn't say there, but you should probably keep up some in a money market instead of paying off your debt with that money. Does not say that. Does it? Yeah, like I said typed in the Ramsey Show chat, tomorrow's chat replacement stream will be Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I figured out the dumb thing I did in that tomb the other day. When was that? Wednesday. Yesterday, wasn't it? Or no, on Monday. Devil from Dante May Cry. How would you pay these student loans? Well, the best way is to not ever take them out. Let's see, what does that mean? Oh, hi guys. I've been avalanching the majority of my savings into the big private loan. And I'm curious whether I should chip into the federal loans with lower rates, the 5% ones, just to reduce my monthly payments and snowball the federal ones. I have just $4,000 in savings from paying off roughly $20K in loans already this year. You have actually you saved $4,000 in interest or something, or you actually have that because you're doing it wrong. Again, it says $1,000 emergency fund. It doesn't say add 3,000 extra to that if you want to. It's fine. It doesn't say that on there. So confused about that, and with that short of a time, I don't think it would be $4,000 in saved interest. But anyway, roughly 20K in loans already this year. Great. I make just $600 a week, but live at home. That means with parents. Because if you move out, guess what? That will be your home instead. For free. I need a new job, paying more, comma, fingers crossed. With my applications thus far, breakdown 30,000. Okay, yeah, you pay smallest to largest. That's the debt snowball. See right here where it says pay off all debt except the house using debt snowball. Debt snowball means smallest amount owed to largest. And people always like to get in all the percentages and stuff like that of the interest rates and stuff. Oh, it says that I've been avalanching. And so you can do that, and that will eventually get them paid off as well if you keep doing it. But sometimes the avalanche can be addressing the larger loans first, and so you don't get those small wins. And so then in that case, a lot of people quit because they don't get the wins early enough. So the Dave way has been proven millions of documented times. The avalanche, I don't know that there's stats on that. First snowball debt gone. Excellent. I'm happy to report that I paid off the first debt on my snowball list. That debt was so stupid and unnecessary. Yep, stupid tax. Just say no to PayPal credit. Yeah. Say no to all kinds of stuff like that. Say no to any kind of debt. Even though it feels like a drop in the bucket, I'm going to keep going at it. You all rock. Thanks for the motivation. Excellent. Some good people, I'm sure, on the internet. Also bad, but at least there's some good people that responded to this person. I'm a myomancer. I don't know what that is. Like a necromancer. Question on paying off the house. I do understand that Dave would prefer that people save and buy a house in cash. Yes, he does prefer that. But what's the question? But seeing that is not realistic for many people, he suggests buying on 15-year fixed mortgage where the payment is no more than 25% of one's take-home pay. Correct. Again, you got it. You understand. There shouldn't be any question. I also understand that Dave has religious convictions. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have anything to do with you buying a house. So I wonder why when a person buys a home, why don't they fall back to baby step 2? Because baby step 2 is non-mortgage debt. It specifies that in there. At least on some of the descriptions of it. I don't think it does. Except the house. See? Right there. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. I understand people like to try to delve into things like the baby steps list and try to nitpick at every little thing on there and say, why is this like this? But instead, what you should do is, since his advice has been around for 30 years, has been proven for 30 years, and millions of documented success stories, what you should do is embrace the reality. I'm a big fan of embracing reality, and you embrace the reality that this is the baby steps and that the house mortgage is not considered baby step 2. So deal with it. So let me see the rest of this stuff. I mean, none of this matters. So I wonder why when a person buys a home, why don't they fall back to baby step 2? Because that's not how it's set up. I mean, another answer would be because Dave said that's the way he decided to make the steps when he made the steps. That's the advice. Wouldn't the idea be the borrower is slave to the lender? Yeah, okay. Instead, he suggests simultaneously doing baby steps 4, 5, and 6. Correct. I'm just really having a hard time reconciling this advice. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want to do at any time. And you can even question things being at odds with his religious, I don't know what it says there after that, religious thoughts or religious beliefs, maybe, is what it says. So, but you can do whatever you want to. It doesn't have to make sense to you. His advice does not have to make sense to you. You can do whatever you want to do. And so I love that when people think that they are entitled to an explanation, like, oh, I need this explanation. No, you can just accept that that's what it is, and you can do something different if you would like to. As I said, to your step 7, the Ramsey plan is 15% of your gross income. At Tanya McGrew, that is correct. Aslan is correct on that. Means 85% for expenses. Nope, that's not how that works. That's just like the person that was going to buy too much house. That doesn't mean you spend all the rest of your money. You can put that elsewhere. You would apply extra on your expenses. You make your budget and you do, depending on what step you're on, steps 1, 2, and 3, you're buying hardly any non-necessities. And so you're using the money to pay off the debt. So you're using the money to apply to whatever baby step you're on. And if you are in step 7, you can invest more than 15%. But you would be applying that money instead of do 85% for expenses. And I hope you don't need more than 85% or even that much. Hopefully you don't even need 50% of your income for expenses. Let's see, missed anything else? Market been so up and down these last 3. I try not to look too often. Yeah, that's best for a lot of people that would get worried about it. No, not 85% on expenses again. No, granted, she had typed that already before I said anything. So what then? There's no percentage for expenses. There's not one. As little as possible. No debt, but you do have the house. Okay, so if you have full emergency fund and you're already investing, it should just be 15% until the house is paid off. That's where the extra money would go. Extra money goes to the mortgage. Yes. Excellent. All right. Cool. Figured it out. Jojaba. When to start investing. Was wondering what you all think of how to properly distribute my funds to make the most to start saving for a house. I have no debt. I'm running monthly. I'm engaged and have the wedding paid for and no kids. I have $15,000 saved in cash and building currently a high yield savings account. Investing currently 15% in my Roth IRA, but was looking into depositing some cash into a S&P 500 mutual fund. You would only do that if you have 5 years. If that you're thinking about, that's where your down payment fund is going to be. That's not recommended to use the market as a piggy bank unless you have 5 years before you would need the money, and I'm guessing you don't. I'm guessing you would want to buy a house with the new wife before that. My thoughts were to let that grow there some to hopefully bring a larger return. You're right, hopefully it could. So what if you put that in there and then over the next year people freak out and it crashes again, then you have less money. So that is not advised. And you'll probably be getting married within the year, I would think, since the wedding's already paid for already, especially. And so that's why you wouldn't put the money in the market. Throw into the house in the future. How much money is too much money to be sitting in a high yield savings account? It depends on what baby step you're on. If you have any debt, it wouldn't be. If you have, you need to have the only savings you should be having is your emergency fund and any sinking funds you need for known upcoming expenses. That would be it. You wouldn't have general money sitting in a high yield savings account while you still had the house paid off. Same thing as Tanya was trying to figure out where the rest of the money was going. Do I spend it all on expenses? No, you don't make up other expenses. You use that money to pay off the house early, and that's what you would be doing too. Only gaining 4.25% compared to what you could take out of that and invest in the mutual fund and gain. Yeah, you don't do that. You only do that if you have if you have a 5-year window, knock yourself out, do that. But I'm guessing you're going to want the money before that. And so it's too much risk that the market will be down in any period less than 5 years. Monthly savings about $600 and $900. So you're already investing in the Roth IRA. So you're doing the retirement and you don't have to do more than that to do that. So if you're going to buy a house before the 5-year period is up, then don't put it in the S&P 500 mutual fund. Just put it in a high yield savings account instead. And that way you'll be able to take the money out and it won't go down if there's a crash. ICQ. Anybody remember ICQ? It was a chat platform like AOL Messenger. ICQ was another one. ICQ would actually bridge AOL, and I'm trying to think of some of the other ones now, but like 2 or 3 other ones, it would bridge them all together, so you could just use ICQ for that. It was pretty cool back in the day. That is going back a ways though. Boom, 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 boom. Oh. Simply going live as well. I understand it. Always be hustling on the YouTube. Gotta do it. There's home decor. Do it yourself stuff. That's right. If you do it yourself, you don't have to pay other people to do it. You can make your own live, laugh, love signs. Any other heuristics besides buy new cars only after reaching $1 million net worth? Hey everyone, hi guys, would you share yours or Dave's other heuristics? I don't know that is what that means. But that address various spendings that occur in your life, like when can you afford flying business class? How much? I don't know that there's any other ones that Dave specifically addresses, but just the buying new cars. That's just for cars. The rest of it is like baby step stuff. Is when you should do certain things like invest in something like that. So I don't know. And again, I don't think heuristics means that. I think you mean like, I can't remember the name of the word for it, but it's like parable, maybe would be better. Don't know. Let's see. Reasonable hobby budget, family budget. There's no, how to determine education courses, training, ROI. No, there's none of that. You have to do all that. You have to figure out all that in your own head. There's no Ramsey advice for that. Sarah here. Now, would you ever take up a job which is immoral? I wouldn't. If it was against my morals, I wouldn't do it. I don't mean sordid like adult work. I mean like working in an abortion clinic or working for a bank or selling alcohol when you don't drink. I did work for a bank. I didn't give out loans though. So I had no problem with that. But that's up to the individual. And so if it's something that is fine with you, and especially if you're taking it mostly for the money, that's your choice to make for that. But that's each individual's choice. Ramsey style GPT. Creme de la creme 31. I created a Ramsey style GPT based system to answer my financial questions while providing feedback aligned with the Ramsey methodology. I believe it closely replicates closely, huh? Ramsey style financial guide. What is that gonna? I'm not clicking on that, but oh, that's right. It doesn't show me by hovering over it what it is going to. But so that's a GPT based system. So I don't know if this is just like a document or a slides type of thing or whatever, but I mean, that's fine, but you can also just go to the YouTube and find any answer as well, or the books, or anything else that you fed the machine the information from. Preacher, Coder Troll too. That's an interesting combination. Preacher and Coder and Troll. When life keeps happening. So I cannot seem to save my initial emergency fund $1,000 because, well, life keeps happening. A severe storm knocked out power to the house. The power company didn't get it restored for over a week. Then job loss, then the next thing, and it seems like life keeps happening each time I start to get a foothold. I'm discouraged because it seems like I can't win. Any advice on how to handle the next emergency before I have an emergency fund? The best way you can. That's all you can do. I'm personal on baby step 1. And I get it. That's rough. The severe storm knocked out. So how did that cost you money? Did you have to go stay at a hotel or something? Because it didn't get restored over a week. Did you do that? What was the money for? You're not paying for power at that time. So you're saving that money. But then the job loss, sure. But then, see, when they name 2 things and then just say, then the next thing, and it seems like life keeps happening, that leads me to believe that it's just those 2 things. And it doesn't actually keep happening, but he's beaten down, he or she is beaten down because of those 2 things, which I understand. But that's still, you're still over exaggerating the situation if that's the case. But even if it's not, if there is something that happens, and you also have to make sure it is an actual emergency. If it's something that is not necessary, that's not an emergency. If it's some expenditure that you forgot about, you didn't put it in your budget or whatever, that's not an emergency. You just don't buy that or get that. The only time you would do that, is if it's a necessity, then I guess it is an emergency. But if it can be put off, you put that off. So yeah, a lot of people hit that emergency fund because they didn't save enough money for Christmas, for example. That's not an emergency. Get clear career assessment feedback requested. These are on air all the times now. Top 3 talents. I was able to connect imagination, inspection. Top 3 passions. Analyzing, researching. Mission to accomplish my mission of. Efficiency by producing order and excellence. You get a job that has those in there. And here's what I would do. I mean, this is the way it works now with people, though. They want somebody to tell them all the answers. They don't even want to go to the Google and say, what jobs require this? They don't want to do that even. So, yeah. So I have no idea. So eventually I'll start skipping those, I'm sure. What time is it? Alrighty. Someone cooked here. Home paydown advice for the long term. So how you pay down the house quicker? How you pay the house down quicker is that you do not spend the money on other things. You pay the house off with that money. Simple as that. Now, on steps 4, 5, and 6, you can do vacations. That's fine. Whatever you budget is fine in steps 4, 5, and 6. But everything you budget that's not a necessity, guess what? That is money that could be put on the house and get you to step 7 faster. So that is your choice. You just have to weigh everything that's not a necessity. Hello all, I haven't posted in the group yet, but I've been looking at post after post and decided to stick my head from out the weeds. Okay. My wife and I bought a home in January, $206,000. We financed for a 30-year term. Yes, I know we probably should have done a 15, but hear it out. No, you shouldn't have probably done it. You should have definitely done it. And because you could have really seriously messed yourself up. If you had to do a 13 to be able to afford the payments, then you could not afford that mortgage, sir. My credit score at the time doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Credit score don't matter. Yep, don't typically matter. They don't matter at all, from what you've gathered. So you're correct. They don't matter at all, actually. We used to live in a single wide on my in-laws' property for 4 years. It was paid off, but we were outgrowing it with our family growing, and I've since had a third child. Prior to this, I had a car payment, which none of that affects the home pay down advice, except for, okay, so how you paid off this other stuff, right? All the debt that you paid off, you paid that off the same way you're going to pay the house off, which is by not spending that extra money on anything else. And so it's not that difficult. Oh, I'm curious. Let's just see what else. If there's other things. People do like to tell things that don't matter. Oh my goodness. See, none of that matters. None of this matters at all. I'm calling it right now. I'll just skim through it to see. Prior to the car payment I had, your past history, who your third grade teacher was, it doesn't matter. When we got in the house, we raised all our consumer debt. And that's great. I assumed you had been out of debt already. And so otherwise you shouldn't even bought the house, but so we're right by that. And so, yeah, this is just way, way too much explanation. Mortgage being $1,693, that's going on. I typically throw $200 to $300 a month additionally toward the principal. Great. Some people have said this isn't a good idea. Others have and pay down the principal. Yes, you would pay it down early, especially since you have a 30-year mortgage. You should probably, not a great time to refinance right now. So you should pay it down like it's a 15. So put a lot extra, more than $200 to $300 on there. And if you can't put $200 to $300 on there, that's because you bought too much house. Haven't been able to file homestead exemption yet because we closed on the house in January 16th. Would it be smart to continue throwing money to principal? Yes. Especially if our payment lower because of the taxes withheld or considerably more than what we will likely pay per year. Escrow holds out. Again, doesn't matter. I assume our payment will also go down if our insurance doesn't increase. Yeah, if it doesn't. Thanks. I'd like to tackle it. We want to finance into a 15-year loan eventually. And eventually it might make sense to do that. But you can also just pay it off faster than 15 years even. However, buying a home and having only our mortgage as a payment has been great so far for our needs. Yeah, and that's how that works the best. So I'm glad you got out of debt. So yeah, none of that other information necessary at all. But people like to tell you, some people like to tell you their whole life story. Intention, flat 5029, withdrawing Roth IRA contributions to pay off debt, and that's a no. That is a no. A lot of people ask about that, but that is a no. If it's in a regular brokerage account, yes. If it's a retirement account, you just let that sit. You don't contribute any more to it while you pay out the debt. And after you pay out the debt and get the full emergency fund, at that point, then you would start investing again after you get the, pay off debt and full emergency fund first, and then you would resume your investing for retirement. Boom, 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 boom. 75 expenses, 15 retirement, 10 and I got 70 account. I now know this is not the baby steps. That's correct. Yep. CSM. What have live, laugh, love signs done to you? Nothing. I just know somebody that has a bunch of them. Like, I'm going to go ahead and say in the common rooms, I'm going to go ahead and say at least, so you like got in a just a half bathroom, right? With just a toilet in it. There's 3 in there. In the living room, there's probably about at least 12. There's at least 12. And so that seems excessive for me. But, you know, that's the way it goes. So that's the live, laugh, love thing. And that's why any kind of home decor, I just immediately go to the live, laugh, love card. Boom, boom, boom. Aslan, surprised how often people ask the question because the answer seems so obvious. And which one was that? Aslan. Oh, Aslan was out. It needs to sleep a bit. Sleeping is recommended. Definitely a non-out as well. Tried 4 different high yield savings accounts. Pick 2. All right. Was the interest rate on them the same? Watch type that. I'll do this one. Historical close. How to reconcile generosity without helping family and friends. Well, the helping family and friends, that could be your generosity if you wanted it to be. This is all a you thing. It seems a main tenet of financial peace is generosity, yep, but all too often we are told it's wrong or even sick for family to ask for help. There's nothing wrong with helping, but it just has to be a gift to the family member and no strings attached. So that's up to you to not have any strings attached. You have to have good boundaries in place with said family and friends, meaning that the second they do something that you're not 100% on board at, you can't go into your head and go to the time, oh, well, what about that $200 I gave you? You know, why don't you do this my way? Because I gave you $200. So if you can avoid that and not have any strings attached to your generosity, then that's fine to help out family and friends. You just don't give loans. It's like we're told to be generous, but also to refrain from potentially being situations that allow us to be generous. That's not true at all. It's like being a lifeguard, but avoiding being anywhere near bodies of water. That's dumb. It is not anything like that at all. It's different if it's a loan. You do not loan money. You're baby step 7, so that is the time when you should be generous, and part of your generosity, part of your giving could be helping family and friends, but that needs to be 100% a gift and not even any strings attached to it, or you getting to judge into their lives just because you gave them money. If you're going to feel like that, that's when it's said that you don't do that, and you don't do anything with any kind of debt with family or friends. So like you wouldn't co-sign for them for anything. You wouldn't loan them any money. You wouldn't start a business with them. You don't do any of that stuff with family and friends. That's a no, 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 no. You don't do that with anybody, and especially not family and friends, because you would like to keep those relationships, I'm assuming, and doing anything with money can go bad. Start a business, that can go bad, that can go under, and then you can lose the friendship or the relationship with family. Oh, one is higher. I may combine the two. So if I was making me mad, what'd they do that made you mad? They are not Dave's favorite at all. Ready? While she's typing that, youtube.com/coachstevemoney is where you are right now, listening to this, watching me. Hi guys. And you just scroll down and you'll get to my other financial content, and that's the Answering Your Financial Questions live stream. That's weekends, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturdays and Sundays, unless there's a Washington Commanders or Ohio State Buckeyes game on this weekend. It will both be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And this show, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show, this is episode 392. I must have not added 391 to this playlist. I will correct that as soon as I end the stream here. And of course, the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including Dave Cation. Dave Cation certainly deserves it. And it's not really about him, it's more about the other personalities. So give those songs a listen if you are so inclined. I have a bunch of other stuff. I have a bunch of other stuff on my channel as well, so check that out. Oh, they jerked her around on percent. So yes, banks will bank sometimes. They will do that. They will do that. And that's why I was fine working with a bank, because I wasn't in charge of anything. I couldn't make any decisions about anything. So I was all clear on that. My conscience was clean. Resetting my plugs here. Whoops. There we go. So I can just read them. You can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. You can email me about said coaching or anything else on my channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, do Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to, you guessed it, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams will be Answering Your Financial Questions, Saturdays and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. unless there's a Washington Commanders or Ohio State football game on. In that case, I'll be doing that at 4 p.m. Eastern in the afternoon. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show through at least September this month. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Ramsey Show Chat Refugee streams. There'll be one of those tomorrow. That's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And just for content, I'll be playing some Shadow of the Tomb Raider video game. Today is National Video Game Day. So happy National Video Game Day, everybody. And yeah, and so there should be some kind of stream for me, even if there's no content. It'll still be a stream with just a picture in the place where the video would be, and it's just a place to chat at least. But most of the time I'm going to try to have some kind of content. And like I said, tomorrow I'll be playing a video game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you so much if you have done that already. Much, much appreciated. And make smart financial decisions every day. I'll check my email, Tanya.